going to be one of my attempts for the February Soap Challenge Club Challenge. I don't think this is going to be one of my entries. This is going to be more of playing with some colors and some different blending elements. So with the category, I'll be in the advanced category, we have to have at least 2 botanicals, and these have to be plant-based, and we have to combine them to make a 3rd color. And you can have more than that, but you have to combine at least 1 set of those. So I'm doing 3 colors. I have some matcha green tea powder, and I have cocoa, and then I have turmeric. And then these 2, this is the matcha and the cocoa, and then this is the turmeric and the cocoa that I have blended up with a little bit of sweet almond oil. Now, what I did with this one, and I'll show you a picture, a friend of mine has sheep, and I wanted to make some sheep's milk soap. So yesterday I actually prepped the lye solution earlier, and I did it like I would with goat's milk, where I had the sheep's milk frozen and add the lye slowly in there. However, I didn't know this, sheep's milk has much higher fat content than goat's milk soap does, or goat's milk, excuse me. So within minutes of the lye solution getting all mixed together, it started to saponify the fats in the sheep's milk. So I had to throw it out. I was very sad. And the thing about it though is I didn't even use full sheep's milk. I used half distilled water and half of the sheep's milk. So that did not work. And what I ended up doing instead, and this is my melted oils, I did a 1-to-1 lye solution with distilled water, and then I put the difference into my oil. So I kind of treated it like an oil, but this will make up for the additional part of the liquid that I need without immediately saponifying the fats in that sheep milk. So over here, I have the first part that I did yesterday, and let me backtrack just a little bit. Usually when I do natural colorants, I like to keep everything natural, so I do essential oil blends. And this friend of mine, she went through my scents that my soaps that I have of the essential oil blends, and this was her favorite one. However, and I didn't think about this till earlier, however, this fragrance, because it has fir needle in it, it does accelerate. So what I did first is I'm just doing 1 loaf. I just did half of the batch with the fragrance in it, and I did that last night. I went ahead and it looks like a lot, but that's actually just half a batch of soap. So that would just be 5 bars of soap. And then there's the rest of it in here. So anyway, I added the fragrance essential oil blend, excuse me, not fragrance oils, essential oil blend to that. And it also has a little bit of clove in it. Clove causes things to accelerate as well. So anyway, this has a sheep's milk. It has the essential oil combination in it. I went ahead and weighed it, and I'm going to divide it out into 5 separate containers. So I have my first layer here, and I will make the soap into 5 layers, and I will pour it in here. So I'm going to have some layers and have that kind of chunky confetti look. I think it'll be fun looking, and I'll have that nice essential oil blend in there. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and bring this to a very slight trace, and since there's not very much soap and I'll have this structure to hold it up, I'm not really worried about crisp lines. So if it goes below into that next layer, that'll be okay. So I've got my first amount of the confetti, the chunks in there that I'll do with the matcha, and then I will pour off the second layer, do this layer, and then on up till I get to the very end. So I will come back when I have this all divided out and bring my lye and get my gloves on and everything, and we'll be ready to go. finished making a batch of soap and I wanted to show you how this looks. So this has been 3 hours, about 3.5 hours since I cut it, and you could see when I did the cut that it was very light. There's a little bit of a rim around the side, and then it was light. Half hour later, darkened up, and then an hour later it even done more so, and now at that 3.5 hour mark it has darkened significantly. So that color has gone through. Now if I were to cut it in half again, it would be light. So this is when the colorants and the soap, everything starts to react with the air and the oxygen in there. So you can really see the 3 colors here, but you can't really see the lines because I did 5. I had the turmeric, then I had the turmeric plus the cocoa plus the matcha tea, and then the matcha tea on the bottom. And the cocoa almost looks a little pink, but as this cures, the yellow, that will fade some. The cocoa will probably hold the best, and then the matcha tea, that will fade considerably. So that's really a nice brown there, but it will fade. Now turmeric, like I said earlier, because this was kind of a sample for the challenge club, because when we don't have a lot of time, so once you cut them, you really take photos then, and then you submit your photos, you're not going to get the final look of what it's going to look like when it's cured 6 weeks from now. And this will fade considerably. So I didn't use as much turmeric as I would if it was something that I wanted to be bold at the 6-week mark, because with this color, I would probably need to use 4 times as much to achieve that color by the cure time. However, if I use that right now, it would be like a scary burgundy color, almost like, oh my gosh, I used too much. And that's really with turmeric what you want to do if you're using it for colorant. You need to put enough in there where you look at it and you're like, oh man, what did I do? But that's how much you need, because by the time it cures, it'll look like it needs to be. This will all fade considerably by my cure time. And then when it comes to the point of selling them, if you are selling or making stuff that has the natural colorants in it, be mindful of the photos that you take, because what it is now will not be what it is at cure time versus 6 months versus a year from now, because those botanicals will continue to fade. Now, if you go do a show that has a lot of sun, or you have things at a consignment shop or boutique and it's like sitting in a window, if you have maybe no control over what the owner does, then that will fade even more so. So the plant-based colorants are neat to work with. They're a lot of fun, and you can get some really cool colors, but they do fade considerably. So anyway, I will come back with a photo to show you what it looks like towards the end of the cure, and that'll be it. But thank you so much for watching. Oh, real quick, the stamp. So the stamp that I'll do, I don't really like doing the chunky confetti, but because of the fragrance, because of the acceleration, this is what I ended up doing, because there's no way I could have done maybe just some layers. But anyway, I'll do a stamp, and that'll kind of change the design with that as well. So anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys again next time.